I'm coming from Bulgaria, Eastern Europe, Balkans. This region is very different than France and other parts of Europe, even Central Europe. And maybe you know something about Bulgaria, but even for neighbor countries, Bulgaria is very different and strange. To try to explain the situation with media in my country. Actually, I'm half Syrian and half Bulgarian, the last 3 years are very personal for me, like a freelance journalist and blogger for Middle East, and my focus is Middle East, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq. Last year I was on the front line with Islamic State to make reportages for Bulgarian media, and this was very big experience for me. So this was, as we say, the experience for me, because every time I am returning from the Middle East and making my reportages and articles, I realize that we have a lot of stereotypes about this region, Middle East and North Africa, and minorities as well. In my country, these topics are not so explained, not so debated in the society, and the media is focused on the very different things. Mostly things like inside things between politicians, something interesting and like spectacle, but not deep reportages. In my country, we have a few big minorities, typical for our country, like Turkish people, Roma people, Jewish people, and these groups are, every year they become smaller, but the Turkish population is growing. But this is not interesting for our media. I would say for one historical moment before 90s, maybe you know that Bulgarian Turks was repressed before 90s, and many people changed their names from Turkish names to Bulgarian names because of economic and political pressure. This topic is not debated in my country. And I think this is because of situation in our media, not only in our political life, but the main topics of our media. We can talk about Bulgarian media before refugee wave and after refugee wave, because the situation in media life in my country has changed for 3 years, and when Bulgaria faced a refugee wave from Turkey and Syria. Maybe you know that Bulgaria is the first European country welcomed refugee wave, and we saw very big problems with our system, not only in legal view, but in our society, how to think about refugees. And one of the biggest problems 3 years later is that we don't know which word to use: migrant, illegal migrant, or refugee. And we saw a very strange word: illegal refugees. Yeah, this is very interesting in our media, because they don't know which is political correct to use. I spoke about political correction because the political life in Bulgaria is dominated by a far-right group now. They are even in our parliament after the latest parliament elections. And speaking about refugees and minority issues is not so popular in Bulgaria now. If you speak or help refugees, you will be described as fifth column or supporting Islamism or Turkish President Erdogan or something. Yes, of course, Bulgaria have historical battle with neighbor countries, Turkey, Serbia, or other countries. But this is very using in mainstream media in a way that is very describe very bad image of refugees and asylum seekers in Bulgaria. And because of this, I think 3 years later, thanks to the wrong media reportages, we are seeing many attacks on refugees and immigrants in Bulgaria. So, to be short, in few words, I can describe the situation with media in Bulgaria as we have no good regulations, but journalists inside Bulgaria are trying and battle every day to get better and to show why the media is wrong, and the biggest problem is the lack of information and background stories about these problems. Not only refugees, of course. With refugees wave, we are seeing and witness our inside problems in our society, and we are start thinking about our society and the reaction of our society to the social problems. Because after 19th, we are not discussing ourselves. So I'm optimist because I'm seeing that my colleagues in Bulgaria are really trying to battle this. Not only alternative journalists. I don't believe in this description. I don't believe in a clash between old journalism or new journalism. It's something strange for me. Every one of us trying to make things better in our country. For example, before 2 months, there was one reportage in one of the biggest news channels in Bulgaria about Saudi king, who is proof meant to eat their woman. And this was in the main news, in the night news. And the day after, I wrote one article about this and why this is ridiculous to put in the central emission, your news emission, and to lying your evidence. And this article become very famous, very popular, and me with my colleagues successfully delivered more information to the public, and the comments are really nice. This was very surprising for me and my colleagues. So, and the last, Bulgaria is in 106th place according to the Freedom Index of Reporters Without Borders. Bulgaria is in EU and European country, but even that, we are with very bad media situation. And because of this false reportages, because of pressure on journalists by politicians, but the most worst thing is that many journalists in Bulgaria, thanks to this situation, have what is the self-censorship. They censorship articles because they think that they will be not interesting for the people or for the editor. 6th year, I'm trying to explain the situation in Middle East, and I realized that if you have no enough money, power or influence, this will be very, very hard. But if you're trying to work in small groups on the local level, we will be more successful for you and your colleagues. And for example, with my colleagues from Association of European Journalists, we're really successful with our pressure on media and to make more reportages with the information. And I'm optimistic about the future, but the fight will be really hard in Bulgaria because the right-wing parties trying to argument their actions with freedom of speech, but we know that racism, nazism and fascism are not opinion but crime.